All right, welcome back, everybody. And I hope you enjoyed the last class. We talked a lot about plugins. We talked about the different pages that we need, different sections we need when building a website from header to footer. I hope you all did your assignments. I'll be checking through. Today, we're going to be talking about page builders, right? And we're going to be understanding page builders, how to transition to design, what page builders you use, all the parts of page builders we're going to be using. So I'm just going to share my screen and we get started. Okay, I'm going to minimize my screen right now and we're just going to get started. So a couple of things before we get started. So hold on. So page builders are drag and drop tools. Somebody reached out to me this evening and said, "Oh, I'm struggling with so 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 and so," and he said it's not a developer or a designer, it's just a drag and drop person. So I was like, "Are you a page builder?" And he was like, "No, it's not." But I'm like, that's exactly what you are. When you drag and drop, you are a page builder. A page builder is a drag and drop tool that allows you design WordPress pages visually. So you don't have to code, you just have to drag and drop different sections, right? The purpose is to build complex layouts without coding, customize design with real-time previews, and save templates to reuse sections across pages. Now we have popular page builders. There are about five of them. I'm going to show you this now, even though we're only going to be using one. Now, in these five, I'm going to be honest with you, I've only used four. I haven't used one. I have never tried to use it. It doesn't interest me. I don't know why they built it. But I'm just going to list it for you guys. Number one on my list is Elementor, which is my favorite. The
So we
best
can't see your
plugin.
screen.
Okay, sorry. I'm going to share my screen. Sorry. My apologies. So my favorite is Elementor, right? We have Divi. Divi is another page builder similar to Elementor. It's another page builder similar to Elementor. We have Gutenberg. Gutenberg. We have Gutenberg. We have WP Bakery. I built with this year and I almost cried. And then of course Classic Editor. We have talked about our Classic Editor in our last classes. What WordPress comes with. WordPress comes with Classic Editor. So we're just gonna check out Gutenberg. I'm coming. Gutenberg for WordPress. Okay. So this is Gutenberg. It's a default block editor. It works like Classic Editor. I don't think I have ever used it in my life. Maybe once. Yeah, maybe once. I don't think I have used it before. Yeah, maybe just once. Yeah, just once. At my early stage of WordPress, like 10 years ago. But I don't think I have ever used this. But I'm going to take my time to explain each and every one of them. Now, Elementor is a drag and drop tool. We're going to be building a page today with Elementor. I'm going to be showing you different sections of Elementor. It's a drag and drop tool that we use to build, and it came out, I think, in 2016, 2 years after I learned how to build websites or so. So it was a game changer for us. They have lots and lots of features now that they didn't have then, which I'm so happy about. So like because building website now becomes like very interesting. Over 19 million websites have been built with Elementor. I'm sure I have close to 50 myself from that, from using Elementor. They have Elementor, the basic, the free one, and then the pro. The pro gives you access to more widgets. Now, Elementor is an amazing app. If you want to get it, you can get it for you can buy an Elementor. You can buy hosting from Elementor, and you can get they have their page builders, their pro plugins. They also have their plans. They have their plans. Hold on, let me see. Um, you can use their Elementor Pro on many sites, but I'm going to be showing you an alternative, still Elementor, but an alternative, and it's free, right? So this is Elementor. It's a page builder, drag and drop. You drag whatever it is you want and edit it. The next one we have is Divi. Divi is similar to Elementor. It's also drag and drop. I used it about 5 years ago. It's nice, but I still prefer Elementor to it. It's really, really nice, like really, really nice. But I love the UI and I've trained myself more with Elementor. I can do much more work with Elementor. Um, then there is Gutenberg. Gutenberg is like our block editor where you just drag and drop stuff, like what we built. Remember in one of the classes we built, and then there's WP Bakery. WP Bakery is like Elementor, but has, a different design. It's also drag and drop. You can drag and drop. They're all drag and drop tools, right? They're page builders. And of course, we have Classic Editor. The Classic Editor is similar to um, Gutenberg. You can drag and drop stuff, and you can also just write it down. I just jot it down. It's a lot of manual stuff, right? But our focus today is going to be Elementor. So let's install Elementor. Please, I can't seem to get this password. I can't remember the password, but let's hope that we are logged in. Yeah. So for you to be able to install Elementor, all you need to do is go to plugins and look for just add plugin and type Elementor. It's going to show installed for me. So sorry, Elementor. Yeah, it's going to appear here. Here. So you click on install now. After installing, then you click on activate. Now, there are other plugins that work together with Elementor, and we will see that when we are building other sites. Because sometimes when you're using page builders, you want to also put add-ons together. So an add-on is like something that works together with another main plugin, right? So this essential plugin might give you headers. There's headers and footers. There are some that you don't have to build your headers and footers from scratch. It's compatible with Elementor. Just download it and you get headers and footers. I'll be showing you all of that as we, move ahead, right? So we've installed Elementor. So now what we want to do is go and set it up. If we go to settings, on Elementor, make sure you do this. You can select what you want to what you want to edit with Elementor. And for the general, you will see if you are using the free Elementor, you're only going to see this. Hold on, hold on. I think she installed Pro Elements. Hold on, let me deactivate Pro Elements. So Pro Elements, I'm going to show you how to get, yeah. So I'm going to deactivate it and I'm going to show you why. Now, if we go back to Elementor, you will see upgrade. You will see upgrade, right? So let's go over the settings once again. Here you will see all the pages that Elementor is able to edit. So if you have a shop, if you have a learning site, whatever, all of them will show here. Sometimes when you are trying to edit something in Elementor and it's not editing, you need to come here and turn on all the pages. So if I unclick this like this, I won't be able to edit pages with Elementor. So I'll just click it on. Now, disable default colors. Check in this box with disable Elementor default colors and make Elementor inherit the colors from your theme. So if you install Elementor, if you install a theme like we learned in the last class, whatever color, brand identity color the theme comes with, if you check this box, and Elementor is going to copy it, not the one that is coming with your template or the one you've put yourself, right? So I always leave this box empty because I like to work on different templates. Now, disable default fonts. Checking this box will disable Elementor default fonts and make Elementor inherit fonts from your theme. Same thing with colors, same thing with theme. I leave it unchecked. Data sharing, become a super contributor by helping us understand how you. Nah, I can click this if I want to, but I'm fine. I can just click save changes to save my changes. Always save your changes. If not, whatever setting you set up will not work. And if you have Google Maps, you want to install Google Maps maybe on any of your pages, you can add Google Maps API here. You can also switch. Now, when there's an issue, you can switch editor loader method, right? This is for troubleshooting server configuration conflicts. When your server is having issues, you can come here and enable this, and it would it would troubleshoot whatever issues it has with your website. For enable unfiltered uploads, allow uploads of any file. So if you want to upload files, this if you enable this, you'll be able to upload any type of file, right? Without the system checking. But if it's disabled, the system will ask you whether you are okay with the file you just uploaded, whether it's an icon, an SVG icon, or a JSON file, which is usually a template in templates. Templates come in JSON format. So it will ask you, I hope this is safe. And if it's not safe, don't install it. So disabling this would always ask for that risk whether you want to upload or not. So next is Google Fonts. Enable Google Fonts so that you can take fonts from Google. Google Fonts load swap. Keep this up. Generator tag enable. Performance, in terms of performance, CSS print method, external file. Um, if you're going to be putting a CSS file. If you want to put internal embedding or CSS in the head, which works great for troubleshooting, while external file using external CSS for better performance. I prefer to use external CSS so that I can be able to add multiple CSS codes to my code without having to, put a file or something. Right. Optimize image loading, image performance by applying so all this stuff to make your image load well. Optimize Gutenberg loading, same thing for your lazy loading. For your blocks, right? So lazy load background images enable, improve initial page load performance by lazy loading or background images, except the first one. Load Google Fonts locally. Should I enable this? I think I want to enable this for faster performance. Element cache, 1 hour. Okay, let me leave it at 1 day at default as safe. Specify the duration of which data is stored in the cache. They have logged me out. Um, now, I have to manually get this password. Elizabeth, can you remember the password? Elizabeth Levin on the call to start with. Hold on. Let me log in and get my. Now that we're here, I can actually install a new one, but where is Liz? Okay. Okay. So we're back in. So let's continue. We're here in settings. So next is features. I will be able to explain this to you. For header and footer default, nested elements, when you have tabs inside tabs, let it be default. Leave everything on this page as default, right? Okay, no, I haven't tried editor V4 before, so I'm just going to leave this here. Next thing you want to put is your role manager, right? Manage who can edit in Elementor. Um, Editor can, but I usually don't touch any of this, right? But if you want somebody to come and edit, if you want an authors, maybe you assign people to your website and you want them to be able to edit, you can come here and edit it. Here's the element manager. These are the different elements, and I'll show you what these are when we open Elementor. So because we have not paid for Pro, we cannot get access to these elements, but I will explain later. Tools. Anytime your website is not loading, you can come here and clear files and data. It clears out cached data, like temporary files that are blocking your website from showing what you currently have there. And you can sync whatever library is not syncing. You can switch to safe mode if your website is also not, Elementor is not loading for you to edit. You can switch to safe mode. Debug bar adds an admin menu to the list of templates that are used on a page that is being displayed. Please put this as disabled. Replace URL. No, I'm not replacing my URL. Version control. I'm not doing this. Leave this the way it is. Maintenance mode. You can say coming soon or put it on maintenance. You can put on maintenance mode. So, but we're not putting our website on maintenance mode, so we're just going to leave it like that. You can choose a template if you have one, but we're not gonna do that. Website templates, you can export and import templates here. Then system info, just to find out the information about your website. Yeah, your server speed, all of that. You can find all your details about your website here, what is working and what is not working. You can get help. Then submissions. When we are using Elementor emails, right? If you're using Pro, you'll be able to add forms. And when people fill your form, you'll be able to get access to the forms here, right? In submission. Let me show you what mine looks like. The real SMO. Let me show you what mine looks like. So when people fill my affiliate form, I'm going to show you what I see when it comes to submission. So if you go to Elementor, and you click on submissions, you'll be able to see all my submissions, all people's emails. There you go. Yeah. So you see, these are all the emails that have been filled by all my affiliates. They have actually filled it though. I didn't even know a lot of them have filled the email, but yeah, these are all my affiliates and they filled their emails. So I'm getting all their emails here. And I can export all of this at once with their emails and whatever they filled at once as a CSV file. So, but I won't be exporting that right now. Just wanted to show you guys what it is. Where were we? Yeah, we're here. Is it here? No, here. Submissions. You can add custom fonts. But that's if you have a pro account. You can add custom icons. If you have a pro account, you can add custom code if you have a pro account, and you can see add-ons. There's Site Mailer. You can install this. This is new. This is new image optimizer. Send email, SMS workflow. Ally makes your website more accessible with powerful tools. There are many, many plugins that you can actually install that comes with Elementor. Elementor AI is for premium. Activity log, track user activity easily. Discover who does what on your website and perform whoever does what on your website. Essential add-ons, Element Pack, see that 25% off. You can add all of this to your website if you pay for it. or you have Pro, right? Now, let's if you install, you cannot install Pro because Pro cost money. So let's check out Elementor Pro price. So you need to know some of this your prices in your head when you are doing anything, because sometimes when clients ask, they need to know that you know your onion. So sometimes most people don't know the price of these things. So they charge low and they just build things with very weird plugins, and the client is not happy, the website is not fine, it's just there, it's not functional. When you're building with sophisticated stuff like this, you can actually like build amazing stuff. But the Pro is not cheap, right? So Pro, they don't charge you monthly, they charge yearly. They don't have monthly plan, it's year plan. So build annually. So $60. How much is $60 in Naira? As at today, $60 in Naira is, let's see. Hold on, I want to check my converter. $60 in Naira is 91,000 Naira. So when I hear a web designer say, oh, I built a website for 100K, I'm like, with what? What should you build this with? A theme costs almost 29 to $40. So let's say $29 for a theme, and that's 44,000. 44,000 plus 91,000 is around 130K. This is just for a theme and one plugin, not even all the plugins you will use, one plugin. But to my students here that are going to be learning, there's always an alternative to whatever it is that you are building. Now, there's another person, somebody builds this particular plugin. It is the same thing as Elementor Pro. The difference is you do not get the templates that Elementor has built for those who bought Pro, but you can get all the widgets and all the other stuff that Elementor provides. So I'm just going to show you. This has saved people a lot of money. So sometimes I still get to bill my clients 300 and something thousand, but I'm not spending so much or getting, I might spend maybe on themes, but I know I'm not spending 91,000 on a plugin, right? So you go to proelements.org. This is for only my students. Now, when you get to proelements.org, you can download it for free. It activates all the professional features on Elementor Page Builder, right? So before we install Pro Elements, let's open a page with Elementor so that you can see. So we're going to click on Pages. We're going to create a new page, and we're going to call it Home. Oh, this is my website. Sorry. This is mine. This is not the one we are. Okay, so we're going to go pages. Yeah. Let's create a new page called home page. This is home page. And we're just going to click publish. Very easy to create. Now, once it has published, you click on edit with Elementor. And then it opens up the Elementor page builder. Now, page builders have sections, they have columns, they have widgets that we used to build, right, for visual editing. So I'm going to explain everything for you here. Now, this is Elementor Page Builder. Now, if you notice, we have not installed Elementor Pro, so it will say unleash the full power of Elementor feature and web creation tools. Upgrade now. Access to Pro widgets, you need to be able to buy. So I'm going to explain all this to you, but let's start with the first thing. First thing first is to know which page you are on, right? You're on your home page. You always see here, so you're able to navigate. The second thing is to understand what devices you're building for. So this, when you land, you're usually going to be seeing desktop. You can easily switch to see what your website looks on a tab and on mobile. You don't have to be checking your phone all the time, and it will be so easy for you to edit. So come back here, desktop, come back here, can see tab, come back here, what do you call it? Mobile, right? Now, this is for if you want to know what Elementor has been building, you can see the updates here. That's what that microphone is for. You can also search for stuff within Elementor, let's say container. to add a new container, you can easily search for stuff here, right? Then you can preview your site. If you click on this eye, if you're working on the site and you save, you can preview your site. Now, what's this publish button for? Let's say I'm building, right? And I add a text here, right? And I publish, I can preview. It goes live instantly. You can see your text, right? And you can save this entire thing as a template and say homepage template. You can also download it and sell later, your choice. Oh, sorry, homepage template. You can download it and use it on another website. And you click on save, and that's it. Anytime you want to import, you can just import this entire page, right? Now we have, I missed this. This is called your navigator, right? Or Elementor just called it structure. They even just redesigned this UI. So when you are, let's say I'm building now, I'm adding text, I'm adding images, right? But I want to be able to edit this image and I'm finding it difficult to edit. I just come here, find my navigator, find my image. I can easily move this up and down, right? I can know what container, I can rename this container and say, okay, this is my hero section, right? This is your navigation menu. Now, let me explain more stuff for you, to you guys. When you come here, this is your page setting. This is your page title. You've already named it, so it will be named. It's already published. If you want the page to be private, you can put it on private. If you want it to pending review, or you want to leave it as a draft, you can set it. If you have any details you want to add to explain it, that's also fine. If you want to add images, that's fine. If you want to allow comments on this page, it's also fine. If you want to, I always hide the title of my page. So I always hide the title. So if I click on hide title, this should go. So if I click on publish and I preview, yeah, I see that. Wait, hold on. It's not gone yet. That's my page. Where was I? Okay. My page title would, it's not supposed to show here. Okay, because I'm using default template, so my page title will actually show. If I have, okay, no, it didn't. Sorry, I made a mistake. My page title is home page. Look at it here. Now, if you have other pages, you will see maybe about, you see about shop, but I don't always like to put all those titles here, so I just hide it and it's gone. Right. So now, let me explain something to you. If you have a theme, remember we installed Elementor theme. If you have a theme, right, when you start using Elementor, you will see default, right? Now, what this default means is that it's taking your every feature of your theme, the design of your team, the way your team is structured, is going to take the default. So if your team has a header, it's going to take the header of that theme to build, but it's going to be blank, and you are the one who's going to be adding stuff. Now, if I click on theme, it's the same thing, right? You see it will load, allow it to finish loading. It will load the same thing, right? So let's click on page settings. And if I click on Elementor full width, if that page has a header and footer, it will show the same header and footer, but it will allow me to edit, right? But my favorite one, or my favorite page setting, page layout is Elementor canvas. Everything goes blank, so I build as I want. So I'm the one that added it. So this is how everything will appear. I build everything from scratch as I want. So anytime you want to build and you're not using a theme, maybe you don't want to use the theme features and all of that, just switch to Elementor Canvas and you are able to build whatever it is you want to build to your taste. All right, so that's that. So here is page settings. This is history. If you want, this is keeping records of your edit. So maybe I edited something by mistake and I want to go back to image moved, it takes me back to this place. So I go back to my first design. Do you understand? It resets the page. Now, if I want to go back to where we're just coming from, I go back here. Yeah, back to Elementor Canvas, and I remove this. And I publish. So once I publish, this one updates and everything goes blank. All right, so that's that about the top navigation of Elementor. This is history. This is page settings. This is to know what page you're on. You can also add new page under. This is to know what screen you are editing. This is to know what's new. This is to search and add features or widgets. This is to navigate towards different parts of your website. This is to preview. This is to publish. And here you can save or view the page. Okay, here when you click on this, you can actually see your site settings. So let's open your site setting. When your site setting, so this E that is here, this icon here, when you click on it, you go to your site setting. You can set your global colors. You can set your primary color, your secondary color, your text color, your accent colors, all of that. Remember, we talked about colors in Figma. You can use different colors for different things that you want. So let's say my primary color, let's make my primary color E E36. 740. Okay. Okay. Let's make it a little bit orange. This is my main color. Then my secondary color is somewhat pinkish. Yeah, something around this part. Yeah. Then my text color maybe a little bit darker. Then my accent colors a little bit lighter. Okay. You can now add more colors. So you can add black, essential colors that you use, and you can name it black, right? You can add white. You can add white. You can add blue, whatever color you want to add, right? Sorry, blue. Okay. Okay. Also, you can then save changes. And when you save changes, all you need to do is go back. You can add global fonts. You can add new fonts if you have fonts. But I don't think I'm going to be changing any of this fonts. So let's add new fonts. So let's change to Poppins. Poppins 600 bold is my primary. Then I can see my secondary 400 normal, but I'm going to change to Poppins. Right. My text, body text. Let's change to Poppins. 400 normal. Let's say, yeah, 400 normal. Um, leave the rest the way it is. You can add new style depending on what you want, right? So edit and save changes. All right, that's for global fonts. For typography, you can add different heading sizes and colors. So your body text, you can add the size if you want, right? H1, H2, H3, H4, H6, you can change the color depending on your choice. So if I say, okay, my H1, I want it to be Poppins, I want it to be 35, and I want it to be black. See that our colors came out. I can save changes. So everywhere we have H1 body text is going to come out like this, but let's remove all of that. You click on clear. You can click on clear and save changes. Okay, so go back. You can also edit your buttons if you want your buttons to look a certain way, but I like to do mine manually. Same for images. You want your images to have borders and all of that. You can edit your images here, but I like to do it manually. Same with your forms. You can do the same, but you need Elementor Pro for this one. And your theme header. Do you want your site logo to show on your header, your tagline, your menu to show? Yes, I leave everything the way it is. Right, so for my site logo, can be the title or a logo, depending on what I want in my site identity. But I usually leave this. Then hello team footer. Okay, I can actually turn this off. I can actually turn all of this off and add my own thing manually, right? So, but let's leave it on because let's leave it on. Let's leave it on because we're already using Elementor Canvas. So we'll not need to exchange anything. So of course, your site identity, you can add your site name, your site logo, like we did in Customize. For background, you can change your background image. You can change your background image by clicking background type. So there are classic and then there's gradient. If you click on background type for classic, you can add color. It changes, your background color changes. You can change it to black, it changes, and you can start building. Or you can just clear it and work with whatever it is you want to work with. If you choose gradient, you can choose your first color. The first color will be this. Your second color can be white. You can change the location. You can move this thing at different angles, change location from right to left, all of that for your first and second color. So let's say my second color is this pink, right? So I can always edit this. Let's see. Yeah, I can have it like this, but classic is always the best. So switch to classic. Yeah, just remove the whole thing entirely. And your mobile browser background can be the same. So, but clear overall behavior, leave it at default, don't contain or make anything older. Over scroll. So sometimes when you finish building website, there'll still be space under. You can leave over scroll as either default or none. So we're going to leave it at default for now. All right, so site settings, your layout, this is your content width. Remember, if you go to Figma, you can check your default screen size. And you see that most times we use 1140. So check it. That's what we're using here. Don't change anything here. Default layout is Elementor Canvas. And default page layout is Elementor Canvas. And we're just going to save. Now, there's something called breakpoints. So if, let's look at this browser, for instance. This is a browser, right? By the time, let me open a website. Let me show you something. WSML.com. This is a full screen website, yeah? You can see everything full screen now. But there's what we call breakpoints. There are different parts of your websites that when you start to move like this, you see that it gets to a certain point that like, see this, the point where this image went down is the breakpoint for tab, right? And if I keep pushing, another breakpoint has happened here, and the breakpoint is for mobile devices, right? So breakpoints are usually those points where your device changes, your website or your device, your responsiveness changes based on the adjustment of your screens. So let's go back to our Elementor. Where were we? Okay, so at breakpoints, you can see the size. So if the size of your screen is 767, you can always add breakpoints. Now, Elementor also has other breakpoints you can add, but I don't like to add them because it makes everything a little bit confusing sometimes. So if you add, you can see tablet landscape. If you have a tab and you make your tablet landscape, how would it look like? So you can also edit for that. You can edit for widescreen, all those big desktop monitor screen. You can edit for laptop, you can edit for tablet, mobile landscape, and all of that. But we're just choosing mobile portrait, tablet portrait, and the normal, desktop that it comes with. So if you want to edit for all screens, come here and just add another breakpoint. All right, so that should be all. Page transition. So this is for, I'll show you how these page transitions work, but this is for pro accounts if you have a pro account. Custom CSS, you can add custom CSS when you have a pro account. And of course, you can have additional settings when you have a pro account. That's the settings that we did here. Now, like we said, we didn't have a pro account, but we're going to be able to still use Elementor Pro and its features. We'll not just get access to templates. Okay, so let's go back to, so we have seen site settings. So whenever you want to start building, you can just come here, add your color, add your fonts, add your typography, edit your buttons, add your images, your form fields, or you can just do it while you are building. Doesn't matter, it's your choice at the end of the day. So if you click here still, you can see Team Builder. there's what we call Team Builder, but you don't get access to Team Builder because you don't have a pro account. Now, what does the Team Builder do? The Team Builder helps you build different parts of your website and make it a theme across the website. So I can build a header and choose where that header can be in my website. I can edit. If I install a theme and the theme has a certain design, I can actually edit that design to fit my own taste, the way I like it. It's your theme builder in Elementor that helps you do that. And we'll be seeing that as we go along the way. Um, we'll be seeing that as we go along the way, the class too. So let's pay attention. Okay, can we all see my screen though? Guys, can you all see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's proceed. Okay, let's proceed. So now you see this theme builder. You can just return back to Elementor where we were building, and let's explain. I want to be able to explain the different widgets to you and what they do. Why we call it drag and drop. And you see how easy it is for you to build a website. So you know in Elementor, in Figma, when you finish building and designing, you have to design every single thing manually, right? So um we're going to be building this particular one. One of the things that I gave you yesterday was, so we're going to be building one of this. Part of the assignments that I gave yesterday for you guys to design, we're going to be building one of this today. And I'm going to be showing, before I start, I'm going to be showing you different different widgets. So let's walk through the different widgets now. Every single thing you do on a page is contained in a container. That's like tautology. You put everything that you are doing on your website in a container. The container on Elementor is the same thing as frame in Figma. So you know that everything is housed in a frame. Whether you use a mobile frame, a desktop, or a tab frame, everything is housed in a frame. Now, containers can be boxed or can be grid or can be full, and I will explain. Now, there are two ways to add containers. You can come here and click. Oh, sorry, I forgot to explain something. There's what we call Flexbox. Now, the Flexbox allows you to, we used to have what we call sections, but we're no longer using sections. I think it's still here, but you change it. We're no longer using sections because it had a little bit of limitations. But see, Flexbox allows you to change the direction, the look, the feel of different items or widgets in your container. So you can even add, the Flexbox is a container. So if I click on this, it will ask me to select the structure of my container. Do you understand? It will ask me to select the structure of my container, whether I want it to be pointing down. So what this means is that the contents will be pointing down. What this means is that content will be going from left to right. This is two pages, so two containers inside one. This is also two containers, but 70% on the right, 30% on the left. This is four containers, right? This is three containers. This is cube containers, three and then one below on that. There are different containers you can actually add. This is also like a bento grid. Now, if you don't know what a bento grid is, let me show you. So when you're building websites, you can understand some of these things. So when you go to bentogrids.com, right? You know those parts of website that you open a website and you just be like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. I like the way they put this thing. It's so nice. Different parts of website. They are called bento grids, and you can see different bento grids on different parts of the website. You can see different things. Bento grids, excuse me. Bento grids are usually used to put information on a website, but organized in a very nice way. Now, bento grids can be built as many as possible, but they're usually like on equal boxes. So you have rectangle squares, like that. So look at it. For example, this is a bento grid. This is a bento grid. You have one horizontal box. The rest are placed vertically like this, like an L shaped and two boxes on top. You can see different bento grids, and just to explain things, and it makes the entire website look very beautiful, right? Other than just having your text and everything in one space, right? You can edit each and every one of them individually. So let's go back to our tab where we're editing. So we're just going to start with simple structure, right? Which is, I like to pick this one. I like to pick this one. So now, once you do so, let's use our structure to view. You see that a container has been added. Now, when we want to create our header, let's say we're creating a header, for instance, I will explain each widget as we go on, but I want to explain the use of containers. When we want to create headers, so let's open our Figma. Let me show you something. If we're going to be creating something like this, yeah, I'm coming. Okay. If we're going to be creating something like this, if you see this, there's a logo, there's a navigation menu, and there's a button, right? All in the header. Those are three different containers. You can actually put everything in one, but it's not wise to put everything in one because sometimes you might want to edit individually. So what you do is you come here, you add a container inside the container that you already have, and then you duplicate it, duplicate it, and it's now three containers. You can always resize this. Now we're going to explain everything, but I just wanted to explain this to you. You can add as many containers as you want by clicking add element and add another container inside another container, right? So it's always good to name your containers. Always name your containers. So this will be logo, navigation bar, and bottom. So if we were to create what that guy created, let's add a logo. Let's download some of these things. Let's download this logo here. Oh, this is a word. Let me look for a logo. I think I like this stripe logo. So I'm just gonna export this. No, let me change the color. Let me change the color. Uh, yeah, I think this is the color. Yeah, okay. So let's export this. Save. So what we're going to do is under widgets, we're going to add image because it's an image, and we can click choose image, upload image. Let's upload that particular image. Let's look for Stripe. Where did we download our Stripe image, please? I can't. Let me check where I downloaded it. My pictures. Okay. Yeah, that's our Stripe image. So I'm just going to upload it. Yeah, fast. See, my image has come here, Stripe. Now, I can actually, I don't want to rush, but I can actually edit the position of all of this. All right, so I can make it left, center, or right, depending on my choice. So I'm just going to make it left. The next thing I want to do is to look for navigation menu, right? Sorry, let me look for menu. Yes, there's navigation menu, nav menu, but you see that it's locked. This is the thing that most designers face when they are designing. It's locked because I have not paid for Pro. But don't worry, you're safe. Hey, SMO got you. All right, so all you need to do is go back to your coming. Let's go back to yeah. Why does this thing keep asking me for password? Let me reset the password. Hold on. Where's our name chip? Softaculous. What's the email that was used? What's the email that was used? Why can't I find the email that was used? Up to date. Let me just log in. I can reset the password. So let's go and reset the password together because it keeps logging me out and I can't remember the password. Um, what's my username? Liz Tutor. Okay. So update profile. I'm just gonna save my password somewhere. Let's go and save this password somewhere. Let's save it on my WhatsApp. My WhatsApp. Guess it asked me for password again. So have we saved? So I've saved. Okay. So Liz Tutor. Yeah. Okay. Let's save it. Okay, so we see that it's locked because I can't access it. It has Pro. All I need to do is go back to my plugins and install that Pro element. Pro element activated. So I've installed it before, so I'm just gonna activate it. And as soon as I activate it, I get access to all the Pro features except the templates that Elementor provides. So I'm just gonna publish this and then refresh. So once I refresh, this upgrade thing will disappear. So I'm refreshing. I'm refreshing. See, it's gone. No more upgrade now anymore. Now I get access to all those things. So I'm going to explain each and every one to you guys. Just hold on. I'm waiting for it to load. Yeah. So now if I click on menu, now I get all the other options. So I just choose WordPress menu and I put it here. But guess what? Only home and blog is going to show. You know why? Because we only have home and blog. So let's see the pages. Let's go and create more pages and create possibly a new header, right? So let's go back home. Let's go to pages. So I'm teaching you how to transfer your design to Figma now. So we have services, pricing, portfolio, contact us, and about us. So let's do that. Pages. We have open pages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have services, publish, pricing. What else? Portfolio, publish, contact us, and about us. Okay, so we've created 5 pages now that we are going to be using, right? So next thing we want to do is to go and create the menu. Don't forget, create your pages. Pages are linked to menu. Menu is how you navigate, your navigation menu. So appearance, we'll go to menu. And once we get here, we can create a new menu. So here, edit your menu below or create a new menu. So we're going to create a new menu and we're going to call this menu Herox sample from Figma. Name it whatever you want to name it and click on create menu. Once you create the menu, what you want to do is you want to add the pages. So we're going to add all those pages that we have there, pricing, services, portfolio. There are about 5 of them, and we're going to organize them. So services was first, pricing followed, no, pricing followed. We're going to remove We're gonna remove homepage because we're not using homepage. Portfolio, contact us. Now, if you want this pricing to, okay, I will explain that. Hold on. Save menu. So we're going to save this menu. Now, if we come back to our edit here and we refresh, we're not going to publish, we'll just refresh. By the time we're adding the menu, you see that we can now add more menus. All right, so if we click here, just hold on, let it load. Who's this person? Please stop drawing on my screen. Thank you. Please don't draw on the screen again. Thank you. All right, so you see that we have the first header that we created. Now we just switch Herox sample. Now we have 5 menus. But you see that these menus look weird. They are not straight. So what you want to do is you want to adjust each container. So I'm going to click on this container and all the things concerning that container. Now, when every container can be edited individually, but they all have different features, right? So it's a flex box. The container layout is a flex box like we selected. If we turn it to a grid, it becomes a grid. Now we can add more logos, more things inside, but we're not turning it to a grid. It's a flex box, just a single flex box. So we're going to click flex box, and then we can now reduce the width. Can you see this? As you are reducing the width, this is increasing. Now, this particular container wanted to put a button. So we come here, we look for button. This is button, and we put button. But we don't want the button to be too close. So align the button to the align position will be right? And then we now edit the container. So we can edit the container, reduce the size. There we go. There we go. Now we have a full header. Now we can click on, now notice, so I'm not clicking on the container. I'm clicking on the item itself, the navigation menu. If you look at this structure, you can see it. If I click on the navigation menu, I can put the alignment as center. And now we have a center. Now let's change this to purple. We can change the color to whatever it is that we want. We can actually just add a color here. Is the color, or we can put a color. Now that this is changing the text color, that's not what I want to change. I'll change the background color. So the background type is classic. I want to change the background color. It's on accent, but let me change the background color to something purple. So I want it to be the same with the stripe, somewhere around here. Yeah, and I can save this as new button logo. I saved it and I click on create. I did this by clicking on plus. It means the plus allows you to create new logos, right? And you can use this eyedropper to actually, you can use your eyedropper to get color code from here, right? So that it can match, right? So I mean, purple. So I click on create. All right, so now we have that. We can come and edit this. So this header has been created. Now, if we want to change this header, we can click the main container. Notice that all of these are housed inside one container. We added 3 containers inside one container, right? So we can change the entire container color to orange or to blue. Whatever we like. We can change this style to text color. We can make it lighter, or we can just make it white, depending on what we want. It's our choice. Now you have a header, right? So I'm just showing you how to create a header easily on Elementor. So let me explain the other widgets. So class captain, please add this to the assignment. Everybody should create a header in WordPress. No, everybody should create a home page in WordPress, because by the end of this class, we'll be able to create a home page. So everybody should create a home page in WordPress, a full home page. So remember, we talked about it yesterday. You should have a header, you have a hero, you should have about me, services, features, footer, testimonial, all of that. Create it there. Now, let me explain other things. Sometimes, so we've talked about containers now. Containers house almost everything. Now, but containers can also be done as they can also be grids, right? So grid is another type of container, and you can resize grids as you want. You can use grids to build bento grids. So I can add this here, or I can first click container, maybe just add one, and then add a grid inside, depending on what I want, right? And then I can add different things inside. I can add an image in this grid, and I can add a text in this particular grid. I can add a video in this grid. Now, I can individually size all of this to fit whatever it is that I want, right? It is my choice. I can size all of them to fit whatever it is that I want to fit. It is my choice. I'm coming, hold on. Default. Okay, so I can add different things. So maybe you have different things you want to add to a grid. You can add to the grid. Now, for grids, you can change. Let me start from content. You can add different things to the grid, different widgets to the all these are called widgets. So you can add a business card here to the grid. You can add a business card if you want. It's also a widget. You can add a button, anything. You can add anything to the grid. It's your choice, right? So coming. Now I'm going to show you how to edit a grid or edit different characters in a grid. When you click a grid, for instance, you can change it to be boxed or full width. So when it's boxed, the items don't go, they cannot go a certain, let me show you. They cannot go beyond a certain limit, right? But when it's on full width, it can actually reduce in according to the parent container, because always in the container, according to the parent container. So we're just going to put this. You can increase the height, the minimum height, or leave it at 0, right? You can show the outlines if you want. It's always good to show the outlines so that you have a guide on what you are doing. How many columns? 3. We can actually reduce it to 2. We can increase it to 10, depending on your choice or whatever it is you want to add, right? Maybe you're building a gallery. So we'll just leave it at 3. How many rows? We can add multiple rows to this, or we can just leave it at 2. Now, the gaps, there are default gaps. So if I remove this, they join together, right? So this is what you link different values together. They are usually used to edit rows, edit padding and margin. I will explain what padding is and what margin is, but they are usually used to edit gaps, margins, and paddings. So if I come here now, so the columns, this is a column, up to down. If I say, okay, I want them to be spaced, you see that everything from left to right is spaced, right? But if I remove it and I say, okay, it's the rows that I want to be spaced, see that just the rows are spaced. But if I want the two to be spaced, I put 2020, depending on I want, and you see the space. If I say, okay, I want this to be 440 and this to be 10, you see the difference, right? So always make sure they are equal, or you just remove everything, right? Auto flow is row, not column, right? So you want it to flow from left to right, not from top to bottom. Okay, you can justify items in the center. So all your items will be in the center. You can just leave them where they are, depending on, so you can align send all these items to the center, or the same thing if you want. Additional options, overflow, so that when we finish building the website, there will be no overflow. The below the website will not be showing white or will not be empty. We always leave this as default or hidden. You won't be able to see anything after the footer. All right, so that's for grids. So anything you want to edit, you come here and edit for grid. But then you can edit. There's layout in every widget. We have layout, we have style, and we have the advanced editing, right? So We have edited the layout. The layout is what it looks like on the outside. Then the style is things like colors, overlays, borders, shape divider. So when we have normal and hover, so our colors now can be different. We can say, okay, our background can have different things, can have classic color gradient, it can have a video playing in the background, and it can also have a slideshow, right? So, but we're going to take classic. So if we change this color to orange, the entire box will be orange. If we say we want to make it a gradient, it will be gradient. If we say we want to make it a video, we can pick a video from YouTube. Let's pick a video from YouTube. Let's pick a video from YouTube.
Each of those maps was drawn up by someone who could see in part, but not
Sorry.
the whole.
Copy video URL. Where were we? We're here. So if we copy this and we paste it here, you see that the video starts playing in the background, right? So you can actually add a video to your website for people to watch, right? While you have different grids, right? You can actually turn it to play once. You can play it on mobile. It will show your mobile phone, or you can turn it as privacy mode. You can add a background image. Before the background image fallback is before the video loads, what image should show. Okay. And then you can add an overlay. So an overlay is, when I explained to you in Figma that you can have a box like this. Let me show you. What we did here, what we did with this made for more. Remember, we had an image inside this made for more, right? We had an image inside this made for more. It's still loading. I don't know why it's still loading. Somebody with my image. Let's add our image back. Yeah. You notice that we have a dark overlay on it. It's like a color over it. And we can actually change this overlay to whatever color we want, right? So we can actually do the same in Elementor, right? So let's remove this background color first. Let's change this to classic and put it as this. Or let's add an image. Let's add an image. So background overlays work with images very well. So if I have an image here, my face showing. When you add an image, you can edit the image. You want the image to show full, different sizes, you can add that. The position, center, right? Or top center, right? Or center below, bottom right, like that, right? If you notice the image is duplicating, so let's do center. You see that the image is duplicating because it's not as wide as the grid. So what you want to come here is remove, put no repeat, and then display size should be cover, and then it covers everything. If you put it on contain, it's going to contain in the image. It's going to, all the image is going to appear in the grid, everything. So if we add repeat, sorry, default, it will be repeated because it's contained. But since we added no repeat, repeat X is one side, repeat Y the other side. So we're just going to put a no repeat. Contain, cover, auto, custom. Custom will allow us to actually put the image the way we want it. So we're going to put it as cover, right? I'm going to put it as we're going to edit the position we want. So come down and click on custom. So we're going to leave this as 0. We want to move the Y position, move it up. Right, so this is for images. So I want the image to show here. Okay, so you can add different scrolling effects. What happens in vertical scroll? We'll talk about effects more, maybe in like 10 classes from now. We'll talk about effects, right? So, but we're not going to be doing effects now. But let's look at some of the effects. If we want to blur this, we can actually blur this background like this, right? Fade out, blur like this. So let's publish and let's preview. We can't even move like this because that's all we have. So I'm going to explain all of this later on. So, but let's return back to normal. Okay. We can scale this image. So what happens is that when I'm scrolling up and down, the image scales. When I'm scrolling up and down, we'll talk about effects later, right? Vertical scroll, the speed. So when I'm scrolling vertically, what happens, right? So if I say from top, I move this here, this is what happens. If I slow it down a little bit, when I'm scrolling, hold on, let me put it here. When I'm scrolling, everything starts to go up. I can put it down like that as I'm scrolling, right? So, but we're not going to be doing any of these effects. Now, there's something we call mouse effect. You can actually track your mouse on different parts of the website, right? So you can set, it can be for different characters or different widgets, different parts of the website you can track. Or you can, well, there's supposed to be 3D here. There's no 3D in this one. So you can track opposite or direct, right? So wherever I am, the mouse tracks me and all of that, but we're not going to be doing all those motion stuff. We're going to do that later on. So overlay, like we talked about. So if we add a background overlay, we can add a color. So let's say we choose black. You see that everything has that, and then we can now choose the opacity. If we reduce the opacity, hold on, it gets brighter. If we increase it, you can increase it, you can create that, effect that there's an image behind, but we're focusing on what is on the grid. And of course, you can always add borders. Borders can be double borders. You can see the borders on the side here. You can increase the size of the borders to show this is the size of the border. You can add a color to the border. You can see the border size is double that we chose. But if you choose solid, you see the border solid 20. That's the radius, sorry. Oh, we chose none. Solid. Yeah, so you can see the solid border around it. You can add a box shadow. So let me show you what a box shadow is. Let's say this will be black. Let's make this black. Yeah. I'm not going to make it blur. Hold on. Vertical, horizontal. Let's move it horizontal. Let's move it vertical. You see that stuff that we did with, you can do this with this button. Let me show you. So if you click on this button, we're looking for box shadow. So if you come to box shadow, let's add a color. Let's increase this. This is if you want your color to be transparent. So you can put, sorry, you can make it black. You can remove the blur. Hold on. Remove the blur, increase the horizontal like this. And let's see. There we go. And we can make it white, right? So on hover, we're gonna make the hover animation pulse. So when we hover on it, you see that it pulses, right? So for the box shadow position, let's leave it outline. We can change this to grow. As we click on it, it grows, can you see? So different animations, but we're going to talk about that later. So I just wanted to show you how this box shadow works on a grid and all of that. I hope we're all practicing, we're all seeing it. So that's that for grid. I'm not going to delete this. Let's publish. Next is text. Now let's add another container. Inside this container, we can add a text, a header text. There are different texts. There's a header text, and this header text is mostly for headings. So if you want to say, welcome to my website, right? So now we've got, this is the layout, right? The content. One, to edit it, we can align center, align whatever we want to align. We can change the font size. We can increase the size of the header, depending on what we want. and we can make it all uppercase. We can style it normal, the decoration, underline it, depending on what we want. So we can, so now if this text is like this, we can actually increase the line height. Remember, we have line height in Figma. We can increase the line height. You can increase the line height, but it's a header, so I don't really advise increasing the line height because your font is never supposed to be this big. So let's keep this to 0. You can increase the spacing on the letters or leave it the way it is, depending on your choice. You can also space the words or leave it the way it is, your choice. So that's for typography. If you want your text to have a stroke, you can add text stroke on your text, or leave it the way it is. You can add text shadow, but you can remove the blocks, just the way we did it on the button, like that. And you can also remove it. So this is for colors. There are different color. I will explain this later. When you hover, what color does your change, your text change to? Normal orange. When I hover, it should turn to purple, right? So coming. It should turn to purple. Let me select a different color. When I hover on it, it should turn to purple. It's supposed to be instant. Don't know why it's not changing. It's supposed to change to purple though. I'll check that why it didn't publish later. But yeah, this is how you edit headings. Now, here's something I need you to note. We're going to talk about padding and margin. Now, margin is the movement of your either your widgets or whatever component you add in your website from top to bottom, right? So, and you can edit margin top, right, bottom, left, right? So, or you can edit everything at once. So if we start to edit everything at once, everything starts to come down naturally. But we can edit. So sometimes I don't like that this thing is close to this grid. So if I add a margin here and I say 10, it starts to go down. If I make it 100, it comes down like this. So it creates a space at the top of that container that I am in. And if I do the same thing, it also creates a space. So this is the container. Let's give the container a color so that you can understand what I mean. Let's give the container a color. Let's make it orange. And let's make the text white. Yeah. Okay, so you can see if we return this to default, this is how it looks like when I placed it in the container, right? This is how it looks like when I place it in the container. But we need space. We don't want it to be like this. So if I say 100, everything, but it will create space 100 here, 100 here, 100 here, 100 here. But I don't want the 100 to be everywhere. So let's make it just top and bottom. So space outside the character, space, space. So if I add left, you see that it creates 100 left, I create 1000, moves it like that. So, but it's bottom, top and bottom, right? Yeah, there we go. Now, margin is completely different from padding. Now, let me explain. For padding now, if you click on padding, what padding does is the widget itself. Now, margin interacts with the container where the widget is placed, while padding interacts inside the container. Do you understand? Inside the widget itself. Now, if I make this 100 now, you see that the space is not outside, it's now inside. It's moving this welcome to my website. It has created the space inside, not outside. Margin creates outside, this creates inside. Let me show you something. If I click on this particular container, let's color this color purple, right? And if I click on margin and I say margin top 100, you see that it will create space for me here. is create space inside a container to create space. It will move it down. It will move the entire thing down. If I put here 100, can you see? It will create space under. But if it's the grid that I'm editing, hold on. If it's the padding, I'm editing this container now. If it's the padding that I'm editing, and I click on 100, see, it creates inside the container the character itself. So anytime you want to create space inside the character, use padding. But if you want to create space outside, you want to move up and down different parts of your container or text, you use margin. Padding is for inside, margin is for outside. I want you to note that. Are we getting something? So let's add padding to this 100, and there we go, right? So if we move this, we've brought this one back. If we move it back up. Now, let's say this one is here. There's something here. Let's delete this container. Let's say I want to hide this particular, I want to pull this one to be under this header. I can just minus margin, minus 135. You'll see that. Oh, sorry. I'm supposed to do it for this one, for the header itself. So whatever is under will come under it, minus 135. So I come here and I click on minus 135. You see that it covers. Now, but the interesting thing is that if I use this my container, this my header, there's something called z-index, and I click on 1. Z-index means, how do I best explain it now? How many characters will be under whatever you're adding a z-index for? So this header now, this one would have covered it, but we want the header to be the first thing, and we want at least up to 3 of the other characters of the website to be under it. So if I say 1, for instance, now, let's say 1, right? It's up here. But if I duplicate this container, let's duplicate this container more than once so that we can scroll, so that you can see what I'm saying. Sorry, excuse me. You see that when we are scrolling, we can't see all the distance have disappeared. But if we put that z-index as 100, so that 99, it's supposed to be, oh, this is sticky header. If we put it at 99, when all these headers will not be able to cover this particular header. If we remove it, you see that they have covered it. So if you want to if I want this one now, let's say I'm moving this margin up now, I'm moving this particular one to this place, and I don't want this one to be covered, I will just add a z-index. You understand it when we're talking about motion very well. But notwithstanding, let's go back to where were we before I added z-index here. Okay, this is where we were. So we're talking about margin and padding. So we've explained margin and padding. If we want to align this particular one, we can align left. So you shouldn't do this for a container, right? You can do this for text. Let's see. I know this part is looking very confusing, but I promise you're going to enjoy it as soon as possible. So if you click on this, welcome to my website, you can align it left. So it will always be left. You can align it right. You can align it center, and you can justify it. So it's always good to leave it the way it is, unless you want to edit. And then you can edit it custom. You can make it custom width. You can edit it like we do in Figma with text, right? So, but leave it at default. You can order it to always be at the top or at the bottom, but depending on you. Then there's what we call position. In position, we have default, which is the normal position. We have absolute. I think we have relative, but I'm going to go with absolute now. With absolute, we have fixed. Now, when you put a coming, when you put a component like this, a widget, as fixed, you can position it wherever you want in on the website. You can move it around. So sometimes you see a website where they added maybe like what do they add now? Maybe like an icon, right? But they want to move the icon to be at different points. They just put it as fixed and then they move it somewhere here. Can you see? It won't be moving, right? It will be here. It will be fixed to this point. So even if you scroll, you'll still be able to see it, right? But I don't like to use let me delete this. I like to use relative. I've not even explained half of the widgets. I hope we'll be able to do that today. Okay. So where were we? This is fixed, right? And we can edit it by moving it to different parts of websites. Why is it not moving? Where are you? Where are thou? Where are you? I can't find it again. Oh. It has gone to different parts of it. Let's click on default. Let's find it here. Uh, nice to find. Why I don't like fixed is because sometimes it gets out of the page. Let me put it at 0. Yeah, there you go. See it here. So as I'm moving it, it's changing. So I can always move it to wherever I want, depending on what I want to do. But the best to always use is absolute, right? Where are you now? Let's put it at 0. Put it at 0. You can, so absolute takes the shape of like it's in the container now, not in the web page, right? So you can actually move it around and probably maybe move it anywhere you want. It does the same thing. Sorry, I made a mistake. It does the same thing with fixed, but you can move this one up, down. This is up, horizontal and vertical. You can move it up, down anywhere you want in the website. You can align left. You can bring it in like that. You can take it up, that's for position. And you will learn why you need to use this later on. I've used this to build websites. This is for CSS classes. You can create CSS classes the same way you can create CSS classes. So if a class is, if I name this heading, for instance, right, I can actually add a custom CSS that makes how do they even, I've forgotten how to do this now. I'll check it later. I'll probably do this later. Heading, background color, blue. Yeah. What's the, so the CSS, this CSS class is now CSS ID. Guys, I'll probably figure this out later with custom C when we get to custom CSS. But this is to add your there are different things that happen with your website in terms of animations. You want to change different things. Sometimes you see a website that it has text and image inside a text. You can use CSS classes and IDs for you to and codes, custom CSS for you to be able to create that. If you go to somewhere like GSAP is called Greenstock Animation Protocol. It's how we are able to add various nice animations to websites from all those mouse following you, all these kind of things to websites. Let me show you. Let me show you like text animation, for instance. I'm coming. Let me see. When you load a website, there are text animation. Is it Christmas yet? Why are they blowing knockout? It's not Christmas yet. Hold on, no, I don't know why this is not loading. Where did I open now? So if you look at these websites now, these animations here, you can add them with CSS, right? Custom CSS. Go to custom CSS, but you're going to be linking each and every one of them with either a CSS ID or CSS class, right? So custom HTML, all of that. See, this website was built with, GSAP. It's really nice. You can do stuff like this, but it's a lot of high-end codes. That's what you're going to be using. Okay, so let's go back to where we were so that we can round up for today. Okay, so I was explaining different parts of this. So if you want to see this responsive, now on Elementor, when we're talking about responsive, you can either hide this on desktop. That means it won't show on desktop. So if I publish, right, and I click this, you won't see it on desktop. But if you switch to tab, let's switch to tab so that you can see it. If you switch to tab, it will come out. Can you see? But on desktop, it will not. If you switch to tab, it will come out. That's because we set it to show hide on desktop, right? So you can always hide different things on your website. You don't want your navigation menu to show things like that. You can mask images inside shapes, right? You can fit images inside shapes, but I'll be talking about this later on. So let's finish. You can add borders to whatever it is you are doing. Here's our responsive. Did I remove the heading? Where are you? So I'm maxing this heading currently, so I'm just going to remove it and turn it off. Yeah. Okay, so you can transform, you can rotate this. We'll talk about this when we're talking about effects. You can rotate your text, take time and, you can flip this horizontally, flip this vertically, your choice, right? Your choice. You can skew. Now, do you know what skewing is? This is skewing. This thing you do with text on your graphics, right? So you can actually skew. You can do a lot of things with websites, right? Your websites, right? On hover, rotate how many degrees? Can you see? So it will be on its own, but when I touch it, it will hover, right? So you can reset. If I touch it, I want it to flip horizontally. So when I do this, hold on, flip vertically on hover. Okay, I have to set the duration time. 1. I need to go and fix the duration. Mine is not working, so I'll probably fix this later, but this is when we are treating on motion. And there are different motion effects, sticky header. All of us will treat that in motion, but let's look at other features. So I want you two guys to install Elementor, try out many things. Remember your assignment on Monday, what you're going to you're going to use this weekend to build a full landing page on Elementor. So we'll go through other parts of this website. So heading, image is to add image, and you can edit image, style image, increase the height, width, opacity, borders, same thing, right? You can add videos. You see all that to style the video, add margin and padding, your choice. You can add icons to different parts of your website. You can add Google Maps to different parts of your website, right? And it will actually show the location. Yeah, actually. So you can add space to different parts of your website. So if I increase this, it's going to create a space between two elements. Okay. You can add button, of course. You can add divider. So if you have a divider, you can divide the page with a line, and the line can be curved, right? So try out many things. Now, these are the pro tools on Elementor. So hold on. So we can add posts. If we have a post, where did we add it now? Yeah, remember our post that we edited. We can have it here. This ones take longer to design. It's a loop grid. Hold on. You have to create inside the grid. You have to create a template inside that you will use and keep using. Right, so but we're going to talk about that later. Same with this loop carousel. You need to create templates inside. Then we have, of course, you can add portfolio. It's gonna add your blog and all of that. You can add gallery. You add many images and create new gallery. You can insert new gallery. Where's our gallery? Our gallery is here to show. Yeah, that's our gallery. You can make it justified. You can make it like this, right? So Lightbox, yes, it means if I click it, it will pop up and I can view it like this. You know, you're going to enjoy building websites with Elementor, right? So I can, hold on, let me just close this. I can add login if I'm building something that needs a login, and I can add a form. And I can edit the form by adding more things in the form, right? More tabs. What is your name? So you can edit forms, you can add login, username, login, password, all of that. You can edit it to look the way you want it. Navigation menu, you can add slides. You can even make this an image. We're going to be building a website. You can add an animated headline instead of just a plain header, right? So you can add, yeah, you can add animated headline. You can add this. Yeah, so you can add price table, price list, flip boxes. See, this is nice. You can add call to action, change the style to cover, you know. You can add countdowns. This is especially for those who are going to be building sales pages. You can add countdowns. You can add reviews. Just drag and drop whatever it is that you need, right? You can add reviews. You can add a video playlist, right? Sample video with their links. So I can actually add this. I can even create an e-learning section in my site without having to install a plugin. I can add Lottie animation. I can upload animations here depending on what I want exactly. So you can actually add yours or upload, right? So the choice is yours. You can add image box here. Just test it out. You can add progress tracker. You can edit it to look fine. You can add the percentage process progress tracker. You can add, there's so much you can add. Like so much you can add. Just everyone study it and build a landing page. You can add tabs, different tabs. This is like creating a container linked into one tab. So you just want to move around and all of that in one place without having to switch between different containers. And you can also add custom code, right? So you can add your custom code here. You can add your text path. You can make it wavy. You can make it circle. Yeah, and then duplicate it like that for it to form. Or you can increase the size or reduce the size or rotate it. or space it depending on your choice. Right? So space it, you can increase the size, reduce the size. Your choice. You can add more elements, many elements that comes with it. Single elements, progress trackers. You can add audio. Where's your audio? You just saw audio now. Yeah. You can add audio. You can drag and drop. You can add audio, whatever audio you like. So take out your time and build a landing page. So I'm going to show you where you can get ideas for landing pages, right? I'm going to show you where you can get ideas for landing pages, how we're going to work. Next week, we're going to start building. So we're going to start designing fully next week. So take out time, study different elements. If you have questions, ask in the community. But this is Elementor, different widgets. Now, we know we talked about Elementor add-ons. So let's go to plugins and check out some Elementor add-ons we can actually add. So let's just type Elementor and all the add-ons that are available for Elementor will actually show up. Okay, so here we go. We have essential add-ons. We have elements kits. I like this elements kit. I like it. There's one called Jeg Elementor. There's one called Jeg Elementor, and we're going to be using it. So we've installed element kits. Let's also install essential elements. There's Jeg Elementor, but they've made it, yeah, this one. They've added Pro to it. But this is one of the nicest plugins to have. So if you click, let's install it. Let's just install it. Now there are plugins that also work with specific themes. Next week everybody's supposed to send me a landing page by Monday, before Monday. So submit your assignments. A full landing page built in WordPress. That's the assignment, right? So you can see some people have questions. Okay, so let's activate them. Let's exit. Okay, so let's go back to plugins and activate the rest. Okay, so they are both activated. Now, if we come back to our Elementor, let's publish. It's all looking scattered here. We're going to practice building on Monday. We're going to build things on Monday that we have our portfolio, our first task. Okay, so this is basics. So now that we've refreshed, okay, we've published, sorry, did you refresh? No, we did not refresh. Let's refresh. So if we refresh, we'll see other parts. Now that we've refreshed, we're going to see other parts here. Other widgets from other plugins as add-ons. So these guys they're built on Elementor or for Elementor. Yeah, so if you scroll down, you will see link in bio, you will now see Elements Kit. Now, Elements Kit comes with different stuff. So you can see their countdown timer. They also have a countdown timer. It's also different now. It's not the same. See, it comes with different styles. Can you see? Now, our own countdown timer is plain. Theirs comes with different styles. So if we select this style, it comes like this, right? So that's one important thing about add-ons is that they add extra beauty to whatever it is you are doing. So let's look at Elements Kit. You can add image comparison. So you can have an image. You can have two images. Hold on. Let's make it left to right, horizontal. Yeah, so you can have two images. Now this is an add-on. If we publish this, let's publish this and view it on the main site. We'll scroll down. Yeah, so we can actually hold this. If you scroll, you can see me. If you scroll, you can see her. This is done by an add-on, right? It's done by an add-on. You can see different add-ons, different things that this add-on brings or comes with, right? So completely your choice. Then essential add-ons. We added two different add-ons. So we have different tables. We can add tables, advanced data table. We can add tables to this. And it will install a table for us that we can actually edit. This makes your website look so nice. Then we can add a creative button. Don't know what this does. Glass effect. Let's see. Ah, nice. Nice, 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 nice. So you can see this plane. Okay, so you can see different add-ons. So sometimes if you don't have something, just go and look for an add-on that works with it, and you see that it works pretty fine. Let's see. This is JEG. Okay, this is essential add-on. You can have fancy text. Let's have fancy text. I just saw fancy text now. Yeah. Fancy text. Yeah. This is a string. You see this? This is done by an add-on. So you can see various different add-ons. Then let's see JEG Elementor add-ons. Let's add it. Elements Kit, headers and footers. I'll show you something now. Essential add-ons. Yeah, see. So JEG is not free, but there's a free part. So yeah, JEG has a free part. So we can always use JEG free part. But here's the interesting part of this whole thing is that when you add some of those add-ons, you can easily see their other features like Element Kits. When you click on it, it comes with pages, it comes with headers. Please do not use any of this. Build your own stuff from scratch so that we can know that you are actually learning. So you can come here to sections and select whether you want a header or a footer, depending on what you want. Before I learned how to build headers myself, this was to come and take headers from. So this is free. I just insert. And once I insert this header, I'll edit it. I don't need to create my own header. I'll just edit it. Yeah, done. See, you added my logo. I'll add a created space for menu. So this is the menu. I'll now have to add my menu. I added search. Can you see? If I add my logo here, and now I have another header. Can you see this? Easy, very fast, change the information. But I don't want anybody to use templates, please. Don't use templates, build your own thing by yourself, right? So that you'll be able to get a hang of the class. Very, very important. All right, so I think we'll be stopping here. Okay, no, before we go, I want us to check out, let me publish, close to absolutely right. I want us to check out various platforms where we can actually get ideas from. So I want people, everybody should build different things, right? So you can build from e-learning website to SaaS, software as a service. So let me just show you guys. I like Dribbble because Dribbble has like really nice screenshots of people's work that I've designed that I can actually bring to life. So you go to Dribbble. I hope you guys paid attention. Yeah, this is Dribbble. So if we say we're looking for SaaS websites, right? So I'm just going to pick one. I'm going to pick some and show you so that you don't get confused while you are building. Aha, I like this. You see this particular website here? You see this particular website here? If you look at it, it looks like it's going to be difficult to build, but let me explain something to you. Here, like this container. Let me take it to Figma. Let me copy it and take it to Figma. Copy image. Let me just show you. As a guide, I discovered these things on my own because sometimes I'll be so maxed out from stressing. So we're going to just mark this website and what it looks like, right? With boxes. So first of all, this part is a container. It's a frame, right? So I'm going to remove the color and add a stroke. This is a frame. Stroke. This part is a frame. I'm just going to be using shapes to guide you so that this is a frame, right? And this frame is divided into 3. Sorry. It's divided into, let me lock this. Thank you. This is a frame and it's divided into 3. Right? Let's divide this. So this one has a logo. This one has, I'm teaching you this, so I don't think anybody teaches it like this. This is another frame, another container on WordPress, but it's a frame on Figma, but it's a container. So this is 3 containers housed inside one, right? Next this is a text. This one like this is a text. This is a text. This is a subtext, right? It's nothing difficult. I promise it's nothing difficult. This is a subtext. This is a button. Both of them are buttons. They are not words. They are buttons. The difference is this one does not have a background color. That's all. But they are both buttons when it's underlined. Then this is an image. Let's take one of these rectangles. This is an image, right? And guess what? This image now is using z-index. So whatever is coming from up comes under, right? Now, this particular place, let me show you something. This entire frame from here to here is a background image of clouds in white, pink, and blue. It's not that deep, I promise you. It's not so difficult. You have to get the image and use it. So I see some people trying to create the image themselves. It's okay. We go through a lot. So where's my shape? Where's my shape? Oh, sorry. Sorry, guys. This is a background image. Let's add a stroke. Do you understand what I'm doing? I'm giving the structure of this website. This is a text, and don't forget to container. Container. Do you understand? Container, grid. Can you see? Image, text. These things that are moving around, they are all different things, but they are positioned as is it absolute now? Yes, absolute or fixed position. So they are around, but this is text. Now, this colored thing, that one has color, one does not have color, is a CSS, custom CSS. Image, box, container, grid, icon, text. Nothing deep. Do you understand? Testimonials. In fact, our assignment, everybody should recreate this particular website. This is the structure I want. Everybody, your assignment, recreate this in WordPress. That's our first assignment. Recreate this entire page in WordPress. So I'm going to share the link. I'm going to share the link to the community. No, anyone with the link, anyone can edit. Save. Should I put as editor? No, anyone can view so that you can edit on your own. Can view. Save. So I'm going to copy this. Where's our link? I'm going to copy and I'm pasting it in the community. So you have access. So I'm just going to name this assignment. I'm going to maybe let me pick more options. I just don't want us to. So we have assignments to study. Everybody create from headers to footer, create this landing page in Elementor. So I'm going to name this. Let's name it. Let's remove all these things first that we added. Frame selection. I'm going to name it assignment 1 or assignment 4. This is our 4th assignment now. So create this. So let's go and look for many other options. If you're watching this later on, like this is the recording. If you're watching it, you bought the course, please go to Pinterest and look for websites or go to Dribbble. Let's look for more complicated stuff or easier stuff to create. Let's see. I think I like this. I like this. Ooh, I like this. Okay, so where's our Figma? Can pick from any, paste here. What did I paste? Oh, I did not copy the image. I went to go and copy the link, open the link. Let's select a few more. Agency, let's look for agency websites. I like this, open. I love this. This is beautiful. I also like this. So let me log in so that I'll be able to view more work. So I want us to actually make progress. So I'll see if all we have been learning is making sense to all of you. I want to see how creative you are. This is a video. Let's see. This is also a video, but I'll get the text. Let's see. So you can design in Figma and edit your choice. So let's look for agency websites. Agency websites. I'm getting ideas for you guys so that you can be able to design good stuff. I like this. Let's open. I'm gonna post this in the group so that I will be this is nice. Aha. Let me see. I'm looking for very simple stuff that you guys can do. Simple stuff. But this is very simple though. This one looks very simple. Yeah, this is quite simple. Yeah, this is simple. Let's add this to Figma. So you can pick. So as are not clear. People have look. They are not clear enough. Yeah, this should be clear. Yeah. I want to see this recreated in WordPress. Yes. That's what we're talking about. Aha. So we have 4 options now. So before you say that, oh, I did not know which one to start with, we have 4 options now, right? So let's even check out for hero section. So our assignment is going to be a lot. Sorry. Hero section. Our assignment is going to be a lot. I'm going to put 4 hero sections. So your assignment is going to be 1 hero section, 1 complete landing page, right? Or 1 complete home page. So let me see. This is actually very easy. I feel like the others are going to join the class and going to be like, what did we miss? Okay, so let me open this. This is so nice. Hero pages, oh. I like this. I also like this. Ooh, this is beautiful. Let's see. Let's see. Who comes up with the nicest hero page? Yeah. Open link. This is too simple. So okay. So I'm going to be getting some ideas for hero pages. You guys can just add to whatever it is that you have there. And you can either design it on Figma so that your hand can, I used to say it in Nigeria again, so that your hand can be strong. You can start it in Figma, copy image, come to Figma, and paste it, copy, I like this, copy image. And let me explain something to you is that once you do these things and you practice these things, you can literally sell templates. You can sell your hero pages on Elementor. If I have the time, I have 2 websites to complete this weekend, so I might not really have the time. But if I have the time, I will do all of this and I'll put it up for sale on my personal website. This is beautiful. So your assignment, pick 1 hero page, 1 hero section, pick 1 copy. Pick 1 hero section, pick 1 what do you call it now? on landing page. The choice is yours. I'm giving you guys various options so that you can pick the one you like. You can create in Figma, but the assignment is to create it in WordPress. What's this? The assignment is to create it in WordPress. And finally, copy. No. Also, copy image. So I've given you guys 7 options for hero pages. And 4 options for landing pages. Don't disappoint me, guys. So please do your assignment, share on the community, let us see. You can also try to recreate this in Figma on your own with different pictures, different images, different fonts. Let us see, right? So that will be all for now. See you in the next class. Next week, we're going to be reviewing the site. We're also going to be building one on the call. We're going to be talking about team builders. We're going to see how to edit different posts, archive layouts. We're going to check global settings. We're going to install a theme that we'll work with. We're also going to talk about motions and interactions, pop-ups and dynamic content. We're going to integrate Elementor with MailChimp, different Google Maps, YouTube. We're going to try some custom HTML for our design. And we're going to start designing our portfolio websites. We're going to design a portfolio on Figma and bring it to life. We'll move our design to WordPress, so pay attention. We're going to start we'll design a newsroom, a blog website, membership website. It's going to be an intensive week, so please come prepared. Make sure that you practice. So by Monday, you should have finished all your you should have finished watching the previous videos. So for those of you who bought the course and are taking it maybe in 2026, enjoy. These are instructions for the live student. This is a recording. So enjoy. If you have questions, the alumni group is always open. Response time is between 1 to 5 minutes. Ask any questions. You paid for it. You get your answers to questions. Thank you very much. See you in next class. So let me stop recording.
Sir, hello, sir. Sir.
Hold on, I want to stop recording.